So it's very warm out here in my workplace studio. There we go. Out in my workplace studio, the garage. It's probably about 90 degrees. I'm sweating unbelievably again. Yep, sweating. But I wanted to prep some canvases. I'm taking my first day off from my work job and any other responsibilities I have to make sure that I dedicate my one day today at least to creating work. I'm inside, I'm still working on my children's book, Stories from Scooter Town. Those illustrations have just blossomed into something I never saw when I started the project 13 years ago. I'm now layering illustrations, pen and ink, and making them into projects that kids, librarians, teachers, whomever, adults can make, but also working on the storylines, reworking them. I talked about that a few videos ago. But today I'm going to take this sweltering hot part of the afternoon and prep my canvases. I've gotten a number of emails and comments from people asking how I start my canvases. Do I do them just blank, just solid black? What do I do? And this is it. It's swipes of black and white. I've covered it in other videos where it's just like swipes of black and white. There is no rhyme, there is no reason, there is no set pattern. It just kind of happens as it happens. And right now, today, I'm getting 4 canvases ready. 2 of them are going to be, are getting ready for a portrait, 2 very large ones, or larger ones, 24 by 48. Certainly not the largest I've done, but the largest I could get on my scooter this week. So 24 by 48, 2 of them are going to be a portrait of a drag king out of Miami. I only know through Instagram, but I'm going to be painting King Femme out of Miami, and I'm really excited. The pose is spectacular. Their glasses, the pose, it's slightly more feminine than I would like for this particular character, but I'm going to work with it. It's the suit that got me, and what can happen with this suit. The photograph that was posted on Instagram, and we talked about it, the drag artist and I had talked about me doing this. I just want to make that clear. When I paint people, I ask their permission. If I don't hear back, which happened with Jacob Tobiah, I never heard from this kid. I just take it as I don't really care, so go ahead. If they don't want me to do it, there's a definite no, and I've never gotten a no. So I've taken on King Femme, and they are they said that they're thrilled and honored that I would do this, which is deeply flattering because I'm honored I'm allowed to do this. People allow me to paint their portraits. It's humbling that they understand the work, and they understand that I'm not making fun. Speaking of making fun, I got into an argument on Instagram. So anyway, that's what the 24 by 48s are going to be, our King Femme, and this is how we're starting. Black, white, gray stripes, and turning the canvas, always turning the canvas, whether there's color on there or just black and whites, to make sure that it's balanced all the time. So speaking of making fun, and you hear about bullying a lot online, and I get it. I don't get a lot of it, but I do get it. You look like a dude. Your haircut looks like an effing dude. You dress like a dude. How about if you shut up? There we are. And either like the work or not, but that's not the way the internet works, especially in this time and place of bullying. I got this one kid on Instagram who decided he was going to be or a couple of them actually, they tag teamed me, a whole bunch of them, decided they were going to be my own personal bully buddies for the day. And one of them, this idiot out of Seattle, didn't like what I had to say about Trump on this bizarre conversation I was having with somebody else. It had nothing to do with him. He decided he didn't like what I had to say, as vague and innocuous as I was being, and went onto my Instagram page, whoops, and started writing really awful things. One of several, I might add, but this one guy, I can't even remember his tag, but he ended up criticizing my work. This is a kid who collects bongs for a living. I decided he was going to criticize, or not a living, but for a pastime. Doesn't create anything, doesn't do anything. Apparently, according to his own Instagram feed, he just buys bongs, posts pictures of them, and then trolls other people. So he called me something that really cracked me up, and I'm thinking about using it as my acronym, almost, kind of. He called me, well, first he told me that he didn't like my haircut, because apparently it makes me look like a dude. Ouch. That hurts so much, I can barely stand it. And then he told me, he went on my page and he was calling me a piece of crap painter, basically. Said that my talents were average, and that I paint like everyone else. That of course is evident in all of my work, and that's being sarcastic. That I'm not doing anything original. Once again, okay, mister. And oh, he called me. This is the acronym part. The elderly finger painter. He had to keep saying that all over and over again, like that was going to make me cry and hurt me so bad I would suddenly stop painting or posting about it. And it actually made me laugh. I went on Facebook and I decided I'm going to call myself the elderly finger painter, EFP. And we joke around about it actually at my job. I have a lot of people at my job who happen to, follow me online, like my work, blah, blah, blah. Meow, 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 as my boss would say. Meow, meow, meow. And, God, I'm sweating. So we're calling me the EFP. Feel free to call me the EFP. Apparently, if you're not 20 or 30 and not collecting bongs, you're elderly. Whatever, dude. So I'm thinking EFP, Beck Lane, professional EFP. Maybe I'll call myself the average EFP, because that's what he kept saying. You don't paint. You have basically a common style. You paint like everybody else. That's someone who's paying attention. And once again, that was an example of sarcasm. Because what I do is start off like this. Then I go in with aerosols and build. Ow! Hit myself in the head periodically and build a complex puzzle that I don't do that again, canvas, that I then have to solve. So this is the beginnings of it. There's no rhyme, there's no reason. I'm not following a pattern. Kind of Franz Kleining it. And once again, I did not know who Franz Klein was, because although I studied art history, I apparently didn't study it very well or deeply. So I start with the Franz Klein idea of simple black and white, real minimalist, sort of. It's a Maximus minimalist. And then I go in and I start adding colors. Ooh. Drawing out the shapes with first chalk and then aerosols, then aerosol patterns using stencils and mainly doilies, because I have a weird love of doilies, and other things. Objects I find at the dollar store, sometimes on the side of the road. And that's how we do. This is a 24 by 24. I have two of them. I have no idea. One's on the floor and one just fell on me. But I have no idea what I'm going to paint on the 24 by 24. I have several contenders. Again, more transgender or gender fluid people I'm interested in. just because I love their courage, tenacity, and ability to survive, not only survive, but to thrive with bullying and danger and threats. So there we go. There's another one. And I'm going to get going on this one. I'm going to finish this up, but it is very, very warm. I need to go get a glass of water. So I'm going to do that. Woof! 90 degrees out here in my little garage. I'm going to prep this one. I've got the first one all done, sort of. Then I'll put them together, make more broad swipes in probably grays, because that adds really interesting layers when I'm putting on the aerosol. When it's not quite white and it's not quite black, it's got this really great gray in the middle. That's a little dark, but like the grays on the end, that makes something really interesting when I'm layering the aerosols and then layering the oils. This idea of gray. Anyway, got to go get a drink of water. Very, very sweaty. Very sweaty. So it's the EFP, the elderly finger painter, signing off. Ciao.